Good evening, good evening, good evening. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to REI Genius Live. And where we kind of go through, we talk about different real estate topics from primarily the state of Alabama. We're going to dive in a little bit tonight. Have a special guest, Mr. J. Oliver Perry, who resides right now in the Huntsville area. But we're going to be talking tonight and really diving into. There was a news article that came out that talked about Birmingham being ranked fifth in percentage change in new jobs created, and so that was a big one that I saw that came out with I think it was AL.com. And we're gonna talk a little bit about that. We have a new event coming up. We're gonna be live in Houston, Texas, the 22nd through the 25th, breaking the money code and going through. And of course, I'm gonna be talking about multifamily. You know my niche: building wealth with multifamily, small apartments, 40 units and below, leveraging joint ventures to do those deals. We talk a lot about creative financing as well, and also I'm gonna be talking about bringing on investor partners, resources, capital to your deals and what that looks like. We're gonna actually spend on day 4. We're gonna spend half a day talking about that. And so we're going to be down there in the Houston area with my guy Gene Boykin with the Go Getter family, and yeah, I'm looking really looking forward to that. That's kind of I guess it is my first event this year that I'll be speaking at in Houston, Texas. So if you're interested, shoot me a message, DM. I'll send you the link where you can sign up, get your tickets for 3 days. We're going to be diving in. Gene is an expert at subject to, so becoming the bank, so taking over pre foreclosures, different properties where someone has a challenge and they can no longer afford their mortgage. And instead of going into foreclosure, going into bankruptcy, that we have that he teaches the process that you can go through with stopping foreclosure and being able to assume those loans in a myriad of ways to help solve tough problems and challenges that people face that have real estate involved. So I'm super excited about that going on in Houston this week. A little bit on the real estate market, things have picked up in Panama City. We're getting multiple offers on some of the properties that we've had on the market for between 60, 90 days. Of course, you always have that lull during the holidays from Thanksgiving into Christmas, where a lot of people aren't buying. Rates have been going down steadily, so that's improved the market. We actually just accepted an offer on duplex down there today. We're going to be doing the listing coming up in Huntsville next week. I think they're taking the pictures tomorrow, and got an update in Montgomery with it's crazy. So I'm gonna have to do some type of business case study or something. But we went from, in less than 3 weeks, we went from 19 units being vacant that we renovated and leveraged Facebook Marketplace and running. I think we're at $45 a day, but we started like $20 a day. And I think we started the ads the 21st. So 10 days of ads and Facebook Marketplace that we knocked out 19 vacancies in a little bit less than 3 weeks. So that's something that's super cool. Right now we got we got 6 units that'll be completed by next Friday. 4 of them already have approved applications. Only got 2 left, and it's a blessing. So the power of Facebook to lease up property. So we're gonna be talking about that. So it's a lot of great stuff going on. Of course, we hear jobs are doing good. The Fed met today. They said right now they don't see any reason to cut rates, which is fine. I'm fine with them holding steady. Interest rates overall for mortgages have been going down, so that's exactly where we want things to be trending as we go into the spring season. And I think we finally got a permit. It took us 4 months to get a permit for a townhouse that was badly damaged in Panama City. So we're gonna start that project. And yeah, and just really looking forward to just continuing to grow in 2024 and doing the same thing with helping other people become the best CEO of their last name. Speaking of CEOs, I'm gonna bring the boss man up himself, Mr. J. Oliver Perry. Add him to the stage for a conversation tonight, and yeah, just talk shop a little bit about Birmingham. Huntsville always gets all the press, you know, outside of Alabama football. Huntsville gets all the press when it comes to real estate, to the economy. They're always leading the way. But it was something really good to see for Birmingham. But before we get into all that, man, introduce yourself. I know this is the first of many to come guest appearances on the REI Genius Live show. But tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
It is. First of all, I appreciate being the opportunity to be here, Johnny. It's good to see you. Good to be on. So, my name is James Oliver Perry. I go by Oliver. If you'll see me on IG, YouTube, LinkedIn is the Oliver Perry. I've been in the real estate game now since 2018. Started out wholesaling, doing some flips. Now I am not just a single family owner. Now I'm looking at multifamily property. So, primarily located and working in the Huntsville area. I've already got one in Kentucky. I'm looking forward to get the next one, and I've got another. Of course, I'm looking, of course, in Birmingham as well at the moment. So a lot of great things are happening, and I'm loving it. I'm excited, man. It's going to be a great year in 2024.
No, most definitely it is. It is. So what was your thoughts? I know I sent the article to you like, hey, I'm thinking about this, and you're like, hey, yeah, I already knew what you were thinking. So what
Yeah.
was your thoughts, man? Kind of just over kind of high level, just going through that article. Was it a
Um,
surprise to you or anything?
No, I'm gonna be honest. No, it wasn't. And matter of fact, when you sent it to me, or I sent you the text, I knew it, right? And I knew it because when I got to Huntsville, my thing is this, right? All these cities that take off, the Huntsvilles, the Austin, Austin, Texas, the whatever place, Colorado is Colorado Springs, Colorado, places like that, they're exploding, right? What happens is the cities nearby at some point eventually start getting the impact of that same thing. So that's exactly
Mm.
what I feel like we're seeing with Birmingham. With Birmingham, Huntsville's grown up so big, it's growing so fast. I mean, there's multifamily buildings popping up, literally, and I mean this on the literal sense, everywhere in Huntsville, a greater Huntsville area, Huntsville, Madison, Owens Crossing, everywhere. There's multifamilies popping up all over the place. So what happens when those multifamily properties are coming up? More jobs are coming here, but there's not as many people able to get places to live. That's why all the multifamilies are coming up. So what happens? It spreads out to Birmingham. What happens on top of that? People realize, oh, there's opportunity in Birmingham. Now they start building in Birmingham. Somebody's creating this business. Somebody's opening this. Somebody's doing that. And the next thing you know is exactly what you saw in that article. Birmingham starts to pick up. And I don't know what the number was last year. I think the article said it, but I can't remember what the number was. But I can tell you it wasn't five. It was It was not in the top five. So the fact that it is a clear indication that something's coming and something's happening in Birmingham area.
No, 100%. I think that's the thing that people need to realize is like success leaves clues. When you start looking at, where jobs are going, where the population is growing, those are the areas where we want to focus our portfolio, where we want to look at picking up assets. And
Right.
and now being able to focus in over that, it allows you to be in a much better position where you can ride the wave. Whereas the future appreciation that's coming in there,
Right.
the low vacancy numbers because there's so many people moving there, and historically right now across the U.S. that we have a housing shortage, especially affordable housing shortage. So if you're focused in the area where you provide opportunities for housing for lower income individuals, or just for blue collar workers that are looking for clean quality housing, that
Mhm.
there's so many initiatives between the government and then just the new jobs coming in that you have multiple things working to prop you up. And then right now where we are with just historic inventory lows, guess what? Rents probably aren't coming down that much, especially if there's not a lot of new construction that's coming online in the near
Yeah.
term. So there's a lot of things right now that's just making real estate look even more attractive. Oh, by the way, inflation as well too is hedged by real estate. And that's why I tell people that so many people, they don't realize the Federal Reserve said their target is to keep interest rates at 2% per year. If inflation is at 2% per year for 10 years, that means the dollar is going to lose 20% of its value.
Sheesh.
So if your money is losing, they're telling you right now they just hope and pray that it stays at 2%. So it'll be worth, the dollar be worth 20% less. But guess what? Now, if you own real estate, it takes 20% more of those same dollars that are worthless to buy your asset that you own. And that's the thing that people don't realize. And oh, by the way, now it's taking more money. We already seen when they printed trillions of dollars during COVID. And guess what? Prices shot up, a mass appreciation. You had a lot of places that saw over 35-40% appreciation in 2 years. Why? Because they flooded the inventory of dollars and currency. It shot up. And so
Right.
and everybody knew this. Wall Street knew it. They said, hey, they printing all this money that we need to get in real estate. That's why all these hedge funds started buying They started buying single family homes by the thousands because they knew what was going to happen. When you add that much currency into the economy, that it's got to get absorbed, and it's going to inflate a lot of these different asset classes. And real estate just so happens to be one, especially when you can't build it overnight. That now you got a scarcity, and you couple it with low interest rates, then you have just the last couple of years what we saw. And I know I forgot who said it. I think it's Brian Briscoe always says it. The quote, but it's been out there for a while. But it's true when you think about it. The best time to buy real estate was 20 years ago. The
That's a
next best
fact.
time is today.
Yep.
And so, but so many people they don't take they think, hey, I'm gonna wait for me to save X amount of money. I'm gonna wait till all the stars align, and then I'll be ready 5 years, 10 years from now. And it's unfortunately they never make it.
No, I mean,
So
yeah,
it's kind
you're
of
speaking, yeah, you're speaking the absolute truth, Johnny. I think it's very interesting. Just if you just think of real estate as a whole, right? When people are starting to get into real estate, just like you said, they're always looking for the right time. But it is so close and so similar to choosing a significant other. The time where you intend
Mm,
to make it happen is never the right time. Just like having a kid, just like any major decision in life, it's never going to be the right time. Just go. And once you go, then you figure it out, then you make it right, right? Like I can't get behind all the folks who'll say somebody, hey, don't invest now, don't invest now. It's not time yet. Wait, stock up your dry powder. Nah, man. Because when they stack up that dry powder, every corporation, the Blackstones, uh, the movie, what is it, like Marvel, all these companies, all these giant companies are buying real
yep,
estate. Every single one of them. You ain't gonna have
yep,
nothing left. You wait. you better get in now and make it
you're right.
happen.
You're right.
That's
And
it.
that's the thing. Like, is you find your niche, you find your properties. Like, you can retire a company off of 5 properties. If you find 5 solid properties and you focus on paying those properties off over the next 10, 15 years, and
Yep.
rents have gone up over those 15 years, the value has gone up over those 15 years. The residents have been helping pay down the mortgage. You may have been contributing a little extra to pay down the mortgage. Like, if you got 5 houses that's paying you $1,500 a month in rent, come on, you can't live off seventy five hundred
It's easy.
dollars a
Yeah.
month.
Right. Right.
And so I think people get the misconception that you got Grant Cardones, you got people that's got thousands of units, the big portfolios, and people look at that, they're like, I don't even know where to start. I'm just trying to get my first rental property. And
Yeah.
so there's
That's it.
like so many different strategies where if you just leverage, get the right assets in the right areas, where jobs are job growth. The
Yep.
Census Bureau is saying, hey, that the population is growing as well too. And you look at those things, now you can make informed decisions, and you can just buy it and sit back and wait and manage it. And so
Right.
that's why I think so many people they kind of go through the process, and they get analysis paralysis, and they get the fear set in, and then they never get started. And unfortunately, the whole theory of what is it, work 40
Right.
hours 40 hours a week for 40 years, and then live off 40% of your income that you save for the rest of your life. It's like, man, that worked way back when you could guarantee with Social Security, when
Right.
you had a pension that was coming in. Like,
Right.
that doesn't work right now. Like,
No.
I'm not telling my kids to sign up for that. Just contribute to your 401k. That's the only, like, no. I'm like, and I
Yeah.
think it's so many people that don't realize that the rules to the game have changed in the last 10, 20 years. And a lot of
Yeah.
people are still playing off the old rules. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be in for a rude awakening, the next 10, 15, 20 years. And, but it's a lot to be said with that.
Dude, if you're honest, there's some people about to get into a rude awakening this coming year. Like we all see it with the
Okay.
particularly the multifamily market, right? So I'm sure you're aware of this, Johnny, but for the audience sake, in the COVID timeframe and in the '08 timeframe, everything was low, right? So what people were doing, particularly in multifamily, they were taking what we call floating debt, which is essentially an adjustable rate
Mhm.
mortgage on a multifamily property. Here's the problem with that: the rate adjusts, right? So they went into these deals thinking, all right, I'm gonna have this super low rate and it's never gonna move. And then COVID happened, interest rates start skyrocketing, and they are stuck like Chuck. So we're all seeing it's coming to fruition now that a lot of these B class, A class, and C class properties they did this on are about to come back into the market because they're going under. I literally looked at a deal. I'm looking at a deal right now. Matter of fact, Johnny, this is the same one I sent you. Looked at a deal the
Okay.
other day, and literally the guy is, based on the numbers that he provided, he's at around 7,500 as far as the mortgage is concerned, but the property's only making 7K, and that's not including the mortgage. That's not including it is including the share. So it's not including the mortgage. It's not including property management. That was the other one. Not including either one of those.
Okay.
So he's already under, right? And yet still he's like, hey, I don't want to do anything creative. I don't want to do that because of whatever reason. And is vehemently, staunchly towards that, at least per the agent's conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mind blowing because it's like people now, you'd rather just wholly take a full on loss than get out with your skin, right? And it's nuts. And it's not the only person who's going to go through it. And it's only going to get worse with the rates on properties dropping. People are going to buy more single family homes. What happens to that price? That price goes up. What's the adverse? Now the multifamily market is still here. Now those rents are going to start creeping up too. Now you either way you taking an L. So man, it's coming, man. It's coming. It's just really interesting to watch and to see it. Because we hear people talk about the market cycle, and now we're actually physically seeing that happen in real time.
No, you bring up a great point, and I think the thing is, like, most people won't see it. The average Joe will not see it. If you're not talking to brokers, because a lot of times these deals get passed around and they never come on the MLS. There's never, you're not going to go on Google and see it on MLS and go and log in on Zillow and see it. But, the brokers are shopping it quietly to their preferred buyers that they know can close, and like, hey, so-and-so's in a problem and it's happening. Or the banks may extend it out, or the banks may just take it, go ahead and they just turn the keys over, because they know. And the sad part about it is a lot of times when you buy multifamily, the larger deals, that's one of the reasons I focus on smaller deals. I focus on 40 units and below, whereas that I can buy assets with a handful of people that I know, like, and trust, and we can come in deals together. And that's worked really, really well for me with being able. One, I love to be in control. I'm kind of a control freak. I want to be able to drive the trajectory of the asset of the business that we're buying. Because when you buy apartments, you're buying a business. And so that's been one of the things, whereas that now I can invest my money and bring a few people along with me, whereas that now I own 47% of the complex and not all of it. But I make all the decisions, and vice versa, or maybe a higher percentage for if it's something that's smaller. And so that's the thing with the options, whereas that, like, if you're doing big syndications where you're raising millions on top of millions, that's all being pulled together. Because if you buy something you overpay $1 million, you buy it for $1 million and it's only worth 700,000. When you bought it for $1 million, the bank only gave you a loan for maybe max 750,000. So guess what? In order to pay for that $1 million, you had to bring 250,000 to the table. So when the bank takes that property over and says, hey, it went from 750 to 700, now guess what? The bank loses 50,000. But now those investors that brought that 250,000 to the table, all that equity is wiped out. And so that's the thing that unfortunately is going to happen to a lot of those deals where, people were buying at 4% interest rates. And when they did their underwriting, that now 2 years later, they said they were going to sell. And guess what? They said, hey, the buyer is going to still be able to sell, and they're going to have a 4% interest rate when they buy the property from us in 2 years. And our value is going to be this high. Well, that didn't work out because the Federal Reserve came in and the rates have, 6-9 months ago, rates had doubled. They were in the 8% range. They've come down some. And I think that's where a lot of people are going to end up being stuck because they made the wrong assumptions. They were really, really aggressive in their underwriting and the pro forma on what was going to happen at the end of the cycle after they go in and do their business plan. And so I think that's where a lot of people are going to end up, that a lot of their equity that was in the deals is going to be trapped, or they're going to have to take a loss, unfortunately. But, that's one of the risks with syndications is, it's kind of things, not to give syndicators a bad rep, but a lot of times you have people that look to raise money and they get paid by closing deals. Guess what? They get an acquisition fee. And so
Yep.
they're getting paid off those fees. And so now they have to find deals, and it may not be the best deal, but they have to move the money so they can get their fee, and then they can go on to the next deal. And so a lot of times, not to say everybody got kind of fell into that process, but there are opportunities for that. And so that's one of the things that like to teach and educate people is like, hey, these are the things that you need to look for, the questions you need to be asking when looking at these deals. And so it's unfortunate, but with every there's opportunities to come with these situations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's just like the old adage, there's opportunity in chaos. And no matter what we do in every tornado, every hurricane, every whatever, there's always an opportunity for something to happen in that event, and you just got to got to be aware of it. That's really about the gist of it. Nothing else you can do about that.
Yep, it really is. It really is. Kind of so for you, kind of pivoting, with on the real estate front. So kind of what's that number one top goal for yourself this year that you're marching towards?
I lost you, Johnny. Hold on. I lost sound.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, while he's getting his sound back, everybody that's listening in, drop where you're watching in from tonight, where you're located in the chat. And then also you can start sharing those questions in the chat as well. We're going to probably in about 10 minutes start moving into the question segment and just kind of give some free game tonight, go through and answer some questions, some things that you all may be maybe not too sure about with maybe some properties that you're looking at in your market, so we can kind of give some real live feedback. All right, I see Jersey in the house. Okay.
Hey man, so I'm back. I got the sound back. First of all, shout out to you, Sarah. Sarah, it's good to see you. I'm glad gotta get a little blue love in here. But yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. DFW, the Gump.
All right.
What is the Gump? Where's the Gump at, Joel? Where's that at?
Man, you don't know where the Gump is, man? Hold on. How long
Bro,
you been in how long you been in Alabama?
Bro,
That's
I'm from
Montgomery,
Virginia.
man.
Bro, I'm from Virginia. We say
Man.
things like Seven Cities, Richmond. I ain't never heard of the Gump. That sounds like a bad gumbo. That's what
Hey,
it
no.
sounds like to me.
Yeah, man. That's the Gump Town, Montgomery.
Got it.
Yep, awesome. We got somebody there, Huntsville, Mr. Carl Randall. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
Shout out to Carl. That's one of my friends, a friend and a mentor of mine. Great man right there.
Okay.
Great man.
Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have to get together for lunch when I come down through there. I still haven't came and seen that house down there in Huntsville yet.
Bro, you messing up. You could have made the phone call. I'd have gone to see it for you. I'd have FaceTimed you, walked through it. I'd have crawled underneath the building for you. Only for you, Johnny. Only for you. And I'm 6'2". That'd have been tough, but I'd have done it for you. I'd have done it.
Well, no, most definitely. I'll shoot you the lockbox. You can go check it out. It's done. It's sitting there. I was been waiting for the roof to get put on after the holidays. So
wait, so this is a full rebuild or what happened?
Yeah, it was full remodel. Full remodel. Okay. I think we ended up putting 35,000 in it. Okay, bought it for 87, put 35 in it. I think I'm gonna list it for 185.
Oh yeah, you making a profit. That's nothing. That's not bad at all. Yeah. Well done, sir. So, well done.
Yep. No, thank you. Yeah. So that was one, got from just direct market. That's the thing I tell people, like, you just got to get started. If you do just one deal a year, you're winning. If you can add an extra $40,000, $50,000 to your bottom line from doing one real estate project, you get the experience, you go through the process, and it's just all good. But you can't back down from the work. So I think that's one of the big things. Kind of pivoting, man. One of the things that we have coming up that I'm doing, I'm doing an event down in Houston, Texas. So shout out to everybody. Anybody in here we got DFW. So Sarah's in DFW. So down in Houston with my guy Gene Boykin, the Go Getter family. So he teaches all things subject to in that process. And of course, I'll be talking multifamily and bringing on private investors, raising capital the 22nd through the 25th of February. So coming up next month. Yeah, because the 1st is next month. Rent's due. As my guy Doug says, hey, the 1st of the month, hey, rent's due. That they're doing that. So if you're interested in that, shoot me a message, shoot me a DM or whatever. And I'll share that link with you. I'm gonna start putting a little bit more broadcasting that out there. we're breaking the money code. It's going to be a jam-packed 4 days, just going through all things with subject to, we talking multifamily, raising private money, and giving you everything you need to kind of start that transformation process for yourself to get started in real estate investing this year. So I'm super excited about that. And then also, man, I'm gonna be down there for in Birmingham the day before. We're actually on the 22nd, the morning of the 22nd. That day, they're having the annual Alabama Commercial Real Estate Conference in Birmingham. That's hosted by the University of Alabama, Roll Tide, with the real estate school there at the university that they host that each year in Birmingham. It brings together everyone who's everyone in commercial real estate, from property management companies across the state, operators, investors, banks, title companies. I know I was down there last year and met a couple VPs from a few of the local banks, community banks there in the Alabama area. But then also, I think we had the president of the pension fund for the state of Alabama, the state employee pension fund. So he was there talking about some of their investments that they were doing. And we had the Federal Reserve president from Atlanta came and spoke. And so it was a really good opportunity to kind of be in the room with a lot of the commercial real estate movers and shakers, some good networking as well too. So that's happening the 22nd, all day of February. So that'll be happening there in Birmingham. And so that's coming up. So some cool things coming up here across the front when it comes to real estate. And so I encourage you all to if you can't make it to Houston, look for a local real estate investing event in your local area. Get there and start the process and start figuring out what it is that you need to do.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you another piece of advice too. When you go out to these events, right? When you go out to the events, go with an agenda in mind. And I don't mean in the sense where you're gonna go and you're only gonna talk to one person, but like, no, all right, today I want to meet 3 private money lenders and go meet them. Don't ask them for money. That's not what you're doing. You are reaching out to them and just talking to them. Matter of fact, I watched the guy. This is divisive, but I watched a guy who does a lot of real estate, and I'll leave his name out for the sake of this. But one thing he said was, what he says is, he says this little thing. He said, "Man, why aren't we doing business together?" That's one line that he uses every time. Why aren't we doing business together? And then his next question is, what would it take to do business together? Right. And that is, I thought that was like the simplest way. It's a bit forward. Don't get me wrong. It's a bit forward. You got to have some confidence to do it, but find what's going to work for you. Go in, meet those people specifically, and then continue to network. As a matter of fact, there's another book that I read, and one way he talks about in the book, networking. One way he says is, when you go in and you network, it's 2,000. I think it's Hunter Thompson. He calls it $2,000 activity, right? He says, if I meet Johnny Lynham, who's a flipper, Johnny's a flipper, let's just say, and I meet a guy who is a contractor, I say, hey, have you met my buddy Johnny? He's a flipper. I know he's probably looking for better contractors, some more guys to do some work with him and connect. That is a $2,000 activity, right? And every time you do that, that's more money in the bank, right? More, because now you're helping somebody else build a relationship, and they remember you for that. So yeah, Joel, that's true. That's who that was. I was trying not to say the name, but thanks, Joel. You're the best.
Yeah, you got to see the name of that book. So it's Hunter Thompson's book.
Yes, it's Thompson's book, Raising Capital for, I think it's Raising Capital for Commercial Real Estate is the full title. But Raising Capital for Real Estate. But that he talks about that, and I've gone through that book like 3 or 4 times. This time I'm going through it real slow. So I'm going to chapter by chapter as I'm implementing some of the all the stuff that he talks about. I'm doing my best to implement as I'm out here looking for these multifamily properties.
Most definitely. I love it, man. I love it. That's one of the things that I think so many people need, is just how to become resourceful. And there's so many ways to be resourceful, to go out there and help people help give people an opportunity. And at the same time, you're helping yourself. And so that's one of the big things. And I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the things that I'm going to unveil in Houston is my Raising Private Capital course that I'm going to be releasing in Houston, that walks through that whole process. And, how do you lead, how to lead a capital raising workshop? What does that look like? What should you be talking about? What should be on your slides? What order, should you present the information? What worksheet
Mm.
should you have laid out to collect the information? And just lay that whole process from A to Z on putting an event together. And I'm talking about a small event where you just have a event with 10 to 15 people in the room. What does that look like? And then just how do you manage just the process overall with having investor partners in your deals and what that looks like. So I'm super excited about that. Um, and
So
going
I
because it's just a process.
I'd be remiss, Johnny, if I don't ask, for the people, for the people who are faithfully hopping in here and watching you on live, is there going to be a code for the Breaking the Money Code event or slash and for, this new course you got coming out? Is there some kind of, LinkedIn live discount code? Are you, what's going on? Is it Genius Code? What's happening?
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's gonna be
Okay.
it's gonna be a special. It's gonna be a
Okay.
special. We're gonna release that. I said I'm gonna release it. I'm gonna unveil it in Houston. So it'll come out REI Genius Live. If you're not able to come to Houston, that we'll have something the week after that we'll unveil it for everybody. So make sure you just
I
send
love it.
me. Matter of fact, if you're interested, because I told my team we need to just unveil the wait list. If you're interested in the raising private capital course, just shoot me a DM and just send me and just say capital. And then that way, and send me say capital and put your email address, and we'll get it reserved. And so when it's available, we'll let you know, and I'll honor the discount that I'm gonna give everybody kind of when we do the unveiling there in Houston. So now you're a good lead, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying, I want everybody to succeed. So when y'all go out there and make money, just hit TOP, hit D Oliver Perry, right? And just send me maybe 1%. I'll take 1%. I ride with 1%. You can make it 0.5. Just hit me up. Help your boy out.
Yep, exactly. And then when they start going raise that money, they can partner with you and bring it, bring it into some of those multifamily deals.
That's it. That's it. That's it. I love to help money make money. That's my thing.
And once you learn that skill and realize that it's an opportunity, that you provide an
Yes.
opportunity, because there's so many people that don't have the time, they don't have the time to go out and find great deals,
Yeah.
and they work to have them make the money, but they don't have the time or the opportunity to be in maybe or the right market to do
Right.
deals. And so you not being able to share your deals is being selfish. I'm gonna just tell you, like, you not
Straight
sharing your
up. Yeah.
deals with people is selfish, because there's people
Absolutely.
out here that's money sitting on the sideline. They're being paid 1% interest that would benefit from you being able to pay them 10% interest. And so things like that you people have to have that mind shift that, hey, that you're actually presenting the opportunity to people. And so when you align with the
Absolutely.
right people, and yeah, it's just win-wins across the board.
That's a
But
fact.
I love,
That's
and
a
that's one
fact.
of the things too, man. I'm
Mm.
taking that one. I'm taking that one. Like, hey, why are we not doing business together? I think I'm confident enough I can pull that off, that I can use it. But I'm gonna use that, because you think about that, and now you present that to someone. It's like, hey, how can I help this person be
Right.
successful? One that I like to use is, hey, what do you need right now in your business that I can help you with? If they're not like a business owner, but just maybe a real estate investor, it's like, hey, what do you need right now? Need help with. And so now going lead with value, where I'm not even asking for anything, which I may know the individual and know that, hey, they may have something that can a value that can help me, but I'm leading with, hey, what do you need right now that I can help you with? And so I
Right.
think, however you position it, that with the conversation, that there's different opportunities where you can go in and build some authentic relationships.
But that is the thing, Johnny, right? Building the authentic relationship. I cannot tell you how many times I'll go in, and I've been in some kind of event and I've met somebody who was a nice person, but we didn't click like that. It didn't really go much further than that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because that person is still a good person. I probably still reach out and say hello, but I don't talk to everybody every day. It is what it is, right? I
Right.
treat it like I do everything else. Like, even like you, Johnny, we don't talk all the time. We talk, like, at this point, we talk once every other week, if not more,
Right.
right?
Right.
But it's just, we click, we've gotten along, we laugh, joke, we do stuff other than just that. So just be comfortable with just being yourself. Don't look to if you run into Tony Robbins, don't try and enforce yourself to be Tony Robbins' best friend. Be
Right.
yourself, right? He gonna like you or he not gonna like you. It's the gist of it, right? There's nothing else you're gonna
Yep.
do about it. Just be you. And that's it, man. That's all you got to do. Just be yourself.
Yep. Be normal. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. That's the last thing you want to do, is be that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd say be weird, right? If that's who you are, just be weird. Just don't let your weird go overboard. Like ease
Yeah.
up on the weirdness. You know what I mean? Just dish it out a little bit at a time.
Most definitely, most definitely. We're gonna transition to the question round, man. See, people got questions.
Do it.
If not, we'll kind of hang out for a few minutes, and if anyone pops up with any questions, let's see. Dr. McMiller said there are lots of distressed properties in Birmingham now. Yes, yes, that is a
There's a
fact.
ton. There's a
That is
ton.
a fact.
There's a ton.
I know my broker, my I guess he's not. I'm not gonna call him my broker, but
Mhm.
the one of the guys that he really focuses on foreclosures in the Bay County area. That he told me like right now in the projected inventory coming down the pipe, that it's the
Mhm.
most inventory of foreclosures that are coming about to come on the market that he's seen in the last 5 years. And
Oh, really?
so it's out there, and so that's one of the things that we're really doubling down on pre foreclosures, getting our
Mhm.
marketing squared away with how we're doing that, getting that tightened up, and just focusing in on being able to drive those deals home. And then for those that on the screen there, if you're interested in a free strategy session, you're looking for help, support, you figured out, hey, 2024, you're committed to investing in real estate, but you don't know where to start. You want a community that's going to hold you accountable, that's going to give you the information that you need to take action on. And you're looking for that, then we'd love to have a conversation with myself or Coach Jessica to kind of sit down and hear what your goals are, what you're thinking, and then see if we would be a good fit to help you kind of get there. And yeah, so check out that link there. I'm not seeing any questions there. Um, but yeah, man, I think
Say less. I,
this
I
is
got a question for you. I'm
yeah.
gonna kick this off. Let's do a question. So, Johnny, you've been in the game for a long while now, right?
Hmm.
At what point did you feel you were qualified to start coaching?
I didn't.
There's a point.
I don't.
You just okay. So let's tell me about that. Why
I
did
don't.
you even now you don't?
I it's not imposter syndrome, but
Mhm.
because I'm such a I strive for the perfection. And so for me, it was I know that there's people at this level. I'm at this level, but I know other people at this level.
Right.
And you can't compare yourself, but sometimes you do compare yourself. So I'll say that for me, it really hit home. I forgot who the speaker was, but it was probably a year ago, but they said, hey, if there's 10 levels, that
Right.
if you're on level 3, then there's plenty ones and twos that you can help come up to your level. And so if you're at level 7, then there's plenty of people below you that you can help pull up. And so that was the mindset and approach that I
Mm,
took in regards to having the confidence and knowing, hey, this is kind of where you are, and then understanding that I'm extremely comfortable with it because I practice what I preach. And I tell people it's like, hey, I went out and did, and I thought that, hey, before I talk to somebody else about doing it, I had to actually do it before I
right.
start sharing. And so it's like, as long as I'm sharing what I'm doing on a daily basis and
Mhm.
speaking from facts and not theory, and and from my experience, it's like, now it's just a matter of aligning with the right people. And
That's it.
essentially, I look at my mentees and my clients that I have,
Mhm.
that as an extension of my family, because we have the same philosophies, for his integrity. I got most, probably I would say 60-70% of my clients are veterans, so we kind of have that, the integrity, the service mentality, the hard charging. And so a lot of those intangible traits that
Right.
really, when you bring them to anything that you do, you're going to be successful. But now my goal is to really just focus everything that they already have right now, because shout out to everybody listening right now. Everybody listening right now, whether you believe it or not, you're already successful. That
Yeah.
everything that you
That's it.
have right now, because I tell people, you measure success backwards. You don't measure it forward by saying, hey, what I want to do 5 years now, then I'll be successful. Like, you're successful coming from where you came from, where you grew up, the environment, the school that you graduated from, the household you came from, the environment, the community you came from. That's success already. So everybody's already successful, and you already have those traits. It's like, now my job as the coach is to take what's already inside of you and help you perfect that in order to get you to the goal that you're trying to achieve. And so, for me, you never arrive and like think that you're perfect and that you don't make mistakes.
Right.
I've learned that when I had to fire 2 property managers that I hired for my portfolio in Montgomery. And I'm like, how did I not see this? You beat yourself up, you do the lessons learned, you go through, you do the debriefs, and I'm like, okay, don't make these mistakes again. So it's a continuous evolution, but
Right.
you never arrive. And if somebody tells you that, yeah, I should be doing this, and I'm the best out there and all that, it's like you should be probably scratching your head. But I think you get to the point where is that, you know, for me, I really see a lot of people out there, man, that's making strides. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many people I work with that's been burned from like, um, you know, bad operators, or not necessarily bad operators, but people who had coaching practices that really wasn't led in the right way to help people see results. And so that's one of the things that I think that it's like, hey, if I'm not out there, then there's going to be more of that going on. It's like how selfish of it is me to have something that can help people and benefit, but I don't put it out there and offer that as a service. So
So let me tell you this. And this is not to take this off, but I'll tell this quick story real quick. And it's got a point, so ride with me for a couple seconds. So
let's
there's a
go.
guy, right? This guy lives by himself. He only really talks to 2 people his entire life, right? He's a great person, but he's only lives by himself. He talks to those 2 people, and that's it, right? He talks to them about God, and they're having all these conversations, right? The guy passes away. He gets to heaven, right? He gets to the gates, and the guy's like, "All right, Mike, great job, man." He's like, "What do you mean, great job?" He said, "Well, you brought 300 people to God." He was like, "Bro, I only talked to 2 people my entire life. What are you talking about? I ain't do any of that." He said, "Well, you remember those 2 people you talked to? Well, they went and talked to 2 people, and then they went and talked to 2 people, and they went and talked to two
Mm,
people, and right. So it just goes down the line, and all these people go to God, and now he's like, all right, come on in. And he's got this huge mansion, as the Bible says, you got the more souls that you help, the more people that you brought to God, your mansion is a lot bigger, and it just got more." Right. And this is not to persuade anybody to be Christian or otherwise. Not that I'm saying you shouldn't, because you should, in my opinion, but neither here nor there. The point is
right.
for you, Johnny, is you have always been qualified, I think. Right. And it's proof by the people you've impacted. The me's in the world, the Sarahs, the Miss Millers, the Dr. Miller, my bad, Miss Miller, the Dr. Miller. See, I did it twice. Dr. Miller, the Randall, the Carl Randalls, like these people who are listening and watching you've impacted, bro, you've been qualified. And I was kind of a trap question, because I know how
Yeah.
humble you are. So I'm gonna give you your flowers right now. Right.
No, I
All the
appreciate
stuff
it.
that you've done, bro, is amazing. You've impacted so many people. Those people are gonna impact other people. Right. Wait till your mentees become mentors, and they get mentees. That's gonna be crazy to you. You're gonna be like, what is going on? I'm telling you,
Yeah.
bro. I'm telling you.
You're right. No, I appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate that. And you're right. You're right. That's the thing. Like you don't you there's no feeling. I tell my kids this is like there's no amount of money or price that you could put on the
It's
feeling
a
of
fact.
helping somebody or somebody telling you that, hey, my life would have been completely different if I hadn't met you. It's like you
It's a
can't even
fact.
put a price tag on that. So no, I definitely I'm picking up everything that you're putting down, man. And but that's what I love about it. It's a journey. It's a journey,
It is.
and
100%
it's
it is.
meet some great people out here, man, and just helping people change their lives through real estate.
Oh, so Sarah's got a question, Johnny. Sarah asks, "What is the first book you would recommend for a beginning investor?" What's your go-to book, Johnny?
My go-to book.
Oh, hold on. Before you do, you cannot say Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's a cop out. We're not doing
Yeah,
that one. Go ahead.
that is a cop out. I'm gonna say Proverbs. I'm gonna
Okay,
go to
you
the
going biblical? Okay,
I'm gonna go biblical
okay.
with Proverbs, but because for so many times it's like the mindset, because like to get started, to have the confidence, the faith in yourself, the let go of like the past limiting beliefs, the
Mm-hmm.
transformation that you have to have mentally to be able to picture it before it becomes reality, all those things that we take for granted. To do that. So I would say, on that side, definitely check out Proverbs for everybody that's out there.
Okay,
Shameless plug for
okay,
Proverbs. This is a great one. But then also, I like Rich Dad Poor Dad, man. I know you. I'm gonna give you another one. I'm gonna give you another one. Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you haven't read it, read it.
it's the
I was
classic.
actually I was traveling from LA on Friday, and
Yeah.
guess what? I'm going to the bookstore. I picked up what is it, the 4 F's of execution or something.
Mhm.
I picked up, but right there, Rich Dad Poor Dad, right there in the bookstore in the airport, and it's still out there. So that's a good one. But I don't think Jay Scott, for me, if you're doing the
Mhm.
flipping, um, Jay Scott's book that was written under Bigger Pockets is a good one with estimating rehab costs. That really helped me starting off as a flipper with being able, because I
Really?
didn't know about contractors. So I think that that's a good one from Jay Scott that I would say for rehab, because you're gonna need to be doing
Mm.
those rehabs. You're doing multifamily or if you're on single
Yeah.
family, and I think it's gonna
Yeah.
really help you put those costs and stuff together, give you that perspective.
I'm trying. I'm honestly trying to think, and maybe it's a. I think this is more of a uh, a real estate specific. Like there's a couple that come to mind, particularly for multifamily. In my opinion, these are my multifamily go tos. One is the best real estate advice ever, the commercial family version, by Joe Fairless. That one's one of my go tos, as well as at least for raising capital, is Hunter Thompson's book, Raising Private Capital for Real Estate. I believe it's titled. And then there's another one. There's a couple of them. Bigger Pockets. I'll say this: Bigger Pockets. I don't know what Brandon Turner was thinking when he created this thing, but he created this gigantic monster, and they churn out great real estate books. Like I've got the multifamily real estate investing one, small multifamily, and multifamily real estate investing two. Those are great books.
Okay.
If you're looking at just real estate investing with multifamily specifically, those are great places to start. And of course, it varies from there because it's just like I compare real estate to like my favorite sport, soccer. Right? Everybody say
Okay.
you could say you're a soccer player, right? But what position do you play? Okay, you play that position. What kind of player are you in that position? Are you box to box? Are you, old school, strictly in that area? Do you favor the left side? Do you favor the right side? Like there's so many
Okay.
specifics when it comes to real estate. But I'd say start there if you're looking at multifamily and then look in there and figure out what connects for your life. And I'll give you a perfect example. For me, I thought I was going to get in multifamily. I was going to buy up stuff, right? I was going to make Grant Cardone cry. I was going to take all his problems. I'm going to wear everybody up, right? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Then I realized, oh, you got to figure out how to property management as far as asset management. You got to figure out the underwriting. You got to have somebody who's able to understand the cost of their property as far as rehab and things of that nature. You also got to have a boots on ground guy. You got to have a capital raiser, and they can be any combination of that in between and behind there. And I'm like, I ain't got time to do all that. So I end up saying, okay, well, I'm going to focus on what I'm good at. I'm good at connecting with people. So I'm going to do capital raising and I'm going to do helping to find a deal. So agents and investors, that's my AO. You got to figure out
Yep.
what's going to work best for you in your life as it stands right now. We'll worry about the next step. The next step happens, but for now, let's take that first step, do baby steps, and it's important. So I hope
No,
that helps.
100%. No, 100%. And I think those are some great books. And I'm glad I'm gonna have to get that list from you. We're gonna add those to the book club. That
Brother,
we got an
I
active
got
book club with just recommended readings, but no, we're gonna add some of those in there for sure.
listen, you want a list, I will give you less. I've got close to 400 books downstairs right now. As you can see, I haven't moved a bunch of them up here, but I'm building a library. My intent is when I retire,
Nice.
I'm gonna have just a room of books that I ain't made my way through yet. It's gonna be a bunch of them.
No, let's go, man, because you're gonna be too busy out there in the streets taking action,
That's a
getting the
fact.
deal.
That's an absolute fact. That's an absolute fact. That's
That's
that's the
what
move.
I'm going through. My wife was asking why I had to, like, I got like 6 books stacked up beside the bed. It was like, because I start and then somebody will recommend a book and then I start
Right,
another one and then something
right.
happens. I'm like, oh, I'm actually doing this right now, so I need to read back through this one. And yeah, I'm just all over
Listen,
the place.
don't feel bad, man. I've got a buddy who does something similar. What he does is, I don't know where he got this from, but he watched some video guy was talking about how he reads the book. So read a book, and then once he kind of, okay, that's enough, he'll hop to the next book. But he's taking bits and pieces from each of these books. So he's not just going and wasting it. The key part about these books is don't just read it. Read it and implement it. You don't have to implement the whole thing, but you should be implementing something, right? It
Yep.
can't just be an empty action. You gotta implement something on top of what you're doing.
No, 100%, 100%, man. some sage advice as we wrap up. I didn't see any other questions come in, man. I appreciate you taking the time and blessing us tonight, man, and being a guest and kind of chopping up, talking Alabama, talking real
Absolutely.
estate. And
Absolutely. When am I coming back? That's
when
why I
you want
know.
to come back, man, I'm here every
I,
week, with the exception of like something crazy going on.
right.
I won't be here the 21st. I'll be in Montgomery. I don't think I'm gonna try to do like maybe an in-person meetup in Montgomery. In Birmingham that evening of the 21st. So I won't be on the 21st.
You
But
want me
yeah,
to cover
man.
down? You guys stay consistent. You want me to cover down? How
Let's
about
go.
I'll cover down for you on the 21st.
Let's go.
21st, I'll cover down. Oh shoot, no, because you're gonna be in Alabama, in Birmingham, right?
Yeah, I'll be in Birmingham.
I live in Huntsville. I can drive down there the next day. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll cover down and then drive down there the next day. What's up?
Okay, let's do it. You gonna come to the conference?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna come to the conference. I got to talk to the missus
I'll
and
be at
make
the
sure we
conference.
got
So
time.
yeah. So I'll be in the conference from 8 to 12, and then I got a 1:30 flight to Houston.
Good
On
gracious, brother. Oh, that's right.
because
Yeah.
because the Houston thing kicks off the 22nd too.
You,
So I told
you
I
just
like Dean, I can't miss the annual event. I got
right.
a couple bankers I need to talk to.
Good gracious, yeah, you piled it on there. I like that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do my best to cover it down on 21st, and I'll let you know if it fails based on what the wife says. But we should be good, man. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on
Okay.
my calendar right now.
All good. Well, I appreciate you, brother, as always, and looking forward, man, to getting that next deal in Huntsville.
Brother, my intent is that we're gonna do that together. So I'm out here hunting. I'm gonna let you know what I find when I find it, and we're gonna take some action, brother. We're gonna make it happen.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go. And for everybody tuning in, we really appreciate. Make sure you guys tap in. If you're in the Houston area, to check us out at the end of February. And if you need anything, hey, you guys know where to find me. Until then, we'll see you next week. Let's go and let's make some equity happen, y'all. Peace.
Be blessed, everybody.